Hail and welcome! My name is Sierra Cassidy and I am a Canadian smut author here to educate and entertain smut writers and readers. Today I've got some book recommendations for you. I decided to get caught up on a couple of Harley Laroux's short stories while I frantically tried to catch up with my Goodreads reading challenge goals. I've already read Dirty First Dates The Arcade and it was hella spicy. You should probably just read her entire backlog. The first new one I read was Paddled by Krampus by Harley Laroux. This story was also hella spicy and a perfect way to warm up in the chilly holiday season. Definitely pay attention to the content warnings on this one. If you like fantasy, magic, sexy potions, and vengeful Christmas demons coming to punish the naughty, then you should check out this story. Blurb. A kinky holiday tale of strict discipline, hard spankings, and a monstrously large cock. Alvina is a very bad girl. Instead of learning magic from her kind Master Jareth, she naps during lessons, lies, and steals his magic potions. When she overhears Jareth speaking of his miraculous pleasure potion, she can't resist stealing some for herself. In the dead of night, she guzzles the brew and is overwhelmed with uncontrollable magic orgasms. Unlucky for her, Krampus, the monstrous punisher of the wicked, is wandering the woods on the night of her deceitful deed, and decides to punish her for her misbehavior. Alvina is given a hard paddling by Krampus, helpless to escape as her magical arousal keeps her trapped in sensations of pleasure and pain. She's manhandled easily by the massive man-beast, dangled in the air and suspended to kick and struggle as she's spanked. Soon Alvina is begging for release, desperate to be stretched by Krampus's massive cock and filled with his seed. Alvina receives a final painful caning from her handsome Master Jareth as Krampus instructs him in the ways of punishing his wayward apprentice. Next up is Dirty First Dates The Museum by Harley Laroux. This story is just as spicy as you'd expect from Harley. If you like thirsty ladies, public shenanigans, and humiliation, then you should check it out. Blurb. He may look like an angel, but he's a sadistic devil in disguise. Ash has been pining after Gabriel for years, and the soft-spoken blonde finally asked her out. But Ash is certain that Gabriel's quiet demeanor hides a dark side. With pain tattooed on his knuckles, she's certain that the studious man harbors perverted and sadistic desires, and she's eager to unleash them. As they wander the beautiful halls of the local museum, Ash's teasing finally brings out the devil in Gabriel. Ash is a sweet brat as she pushes his buttons, and Gabriel reveals himself as a pain-loving daddy determined to bring the lustful woman to her knees. Next up was The Stockings Were Hung by Vera Valentine and J.L. Logosz. This one is a follow-up from last month's video, and it did not disappoint. Vera and JL always come up with the most chaotic banana pants ideas that just work so well. The puns are fabulous, the characters are delightful, and it's just such a fun story to take you through the holiday season. New and recent releases. Always in San Francisco by Calliope Stewart. This title released December 20th and is a short story collection that follows up on all of the packs from Calliope's Always series. Always waiting, always running, and always hiding. With that series complete, you're being treated to some lovely follow-ups. All of these stories take place after the series completion, so be sure to check out those books first. Blurb. Return to the lives of the San Francisco Omegas. This holiday season, take one last look at the stars of the San Francisco Omega series. There will be 4 extra short stories for each heroine and their packs. Next up is Coven of Mischief by Miss Renee. This title released January 1st and is a medium burn Why Choose OMEGAVERSE paranormal forbidden romance with witches, vampires, and shifters, and is a standalone in a shared world. Blurb. Welcome to Blood Moon Academy. Your attendance is mandatory. My name is Lucy Raven. I'm a beta witch, and this is my 2nd year at Blood Moon. The start of the school year couldn't be any worse if I tried. Between breaking up with my boyfriend and always feeling like I'm being watched, I don't know whom I can trust. I'm being stalked by a psychopath who believes I'm destined to be his. Students are mysteriously being hexed, and the council isn't doing anything about it. There's a mischievous alpha who makes me feel alive again, and his beta best friend who pushes all my buttons. Around them, I finally start to feel like the old me. Until one day, my world gets flipped upside down. The factions need to come together to fight the darkness. If we don't, I'm afraid we all might be lost. Next up is Shadowcraft Academy Jinxed by Eve Vale. This title came out December 21st and is a Why Choose Paranormal Romance with MM in the polycule. Blurb. No one has seen magic like mine. Ever. That makes me dangerous and a target. The mysterious mage abducting and draining supernaturals has tasted my unique power. Now he will stop at nothing to steal my life force too. Yet he isn't the only one who wants to use me for my new abilities. While I learn to control my magic, I must also carefully navigate my increasingly complicated love life. After he rejected me, my fated dragon mate slowly loses his mind as I move on. Even his vampire best friend might switch to Team Shayla. Will my druid bond with me in the woods? Will I finally feel my incubus's touch? Will my fated dragon now force me to wield my magic against his villainous father? Or will my wolf shifter professor challenge the dragon's bond and claim me for his own? But I can't lose any of them, since my heart insists that I will need all 5 males if I'm to save the supernatural world. Next up is Sinful Secrets by Miranda May. This title came out December 27th and is a Why Choose Paranormal Romance with The Chosen One, Redemption, and Royalty. Blurb. With her coronation just a month away, Hadley must choose her 4 consorts. Still reeling from the betrayal of Hunter, Caden, Marcos, and Kai, Hadley is heartbroken. But she doesn't have time to dwell on her pain when she still has to marry in just 2 months. Afraid to trust anyone, can she find 4 consorts among the sudden influx of suitors she has? Or will she let the betrayal and pain keep her from taking the throne that is rightfully hers? Meanwhile, Kai is on the warpath. He knows that she will never forgive them, but he will make sure that she's safe, even if it means putting himself in danger. Hunter, Caden, and Marcos are trying to figure out how they can correct their mistakes while making sure that Kai doesn't get himself killed. All 4 men seek forgiveness that they know is unlikely to be found, and then there's the fact that someone seems to be trying to kill Hadley, a fact that they don't mention to the Queen-to-be. Can Hadley forgive the first men that she's ever cared for? Can they keep her safe, or is this Fae Queen's rule doomed to end before it ever begins? Next up is The Holiday Disaster by Rye Cox. This title released on December 27th and is an slow burn romance with forced proximity, only one bed, first love, and opposites attract. Blurb. What do you call being stranded with your brother's best friend? A recipe for disaster? Or a dream come true? Ethan Wang. College is supposed to be my chance to start over, to leave high school behind and focus on my studies to become a vet. Then I board a plane on winter break and find myself seated next to my brother's best friend, the same guy I had a huge crush on even though he always seemed to have it out for me. It should be a quick flight filled with awkward small talk, but plans change when the plane's engine fails and we have to land in the middle of nowhere. After a sequence of ill-fated events, we're forced to share a B&B with only one bed. Trapped in a room with a man I've hidden my feelings from for years. What's the worst that could happen? Kingsley Sharp. I usually get what I want, thanks to my mastery at charming my way into anyone's heart. That, however, hasn't been the case with my best friend's brother. We got off on the wrong foot, and I want nothing more than to win him over. Now, with us stranded together, my chance has come. Stuck in a small town full of snowdrifts and holiday cheer, I'm determined to use this disaster to make this a magical holiday neither of us will forget. Next up is Soul Seduction by Natty Rhodes. This title released on December 31st and is an MF demon romance with redemption, forbidden love, and forced separation. Blurb. I exposed a demon to the public, and another has echoed my soul. Dante is a reaper, and he saved me from death's grasp when I was 19. His cool demeanor is not to be deceived. He's one of the few reapers with the gift to decide, and he's killed for me. His abilities make me nervous, but his chilly touch and everything he's hiding under that robe has my mind whirling. His brother has never met a seer before, and now I've caught his attention, too. My job wants me to expose Dante, and I try to find a way out of it. They say that unveiling death will knock the world out of balance, and honestly, I don't want to be the one to tip the scales. But my coworker doesn't mind. I'm fighting for my will to live, falling for an immortal when I know I'm going to die one day, and trying to keep him and his brothers safe from the mess I've created. Death is always waiting just around the corner. But what happens when he saves you? Can I prove my worth and save the world from deception, or will I succumb to the desire for fame? And last up is Wicked Midnight by M. Violet. This title released on December 28th and is a Why Choose Cinderella retelling with 3 brothers, forced proximity, and BDSM. Blurb. In the kingdom of Cinder Falls, a fey princess cannot become queen until she chooses a mate. The masquerade ball is Tallulah's last chance to find a husband. If she fails, her worst nightmare will come true. One will be chosen for her. After a wicked encounter with a seductive stranger, Tallulah thinks she's found her match. But the masked man flees at the stroke of midnight, leaving her with only the cufflinks he dropped, engraved with his family's sigil. When Tallulah tracks down his estate, she finds not 1, but 3 devilish fey brothers. Ramsay, Bronte, and Shadow, all claiming to be the one who defiled her. Their games are vile, brutal, and depraved, but she can't resist playing. Why should a future queen choose just 1 king when she could have 3? That's all for now. You can find all of my books and platforms in the description below, as well as links to all of the books mentioned here. If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, please do let me know. And if you'd like early access to these, you can join my Patreon where I share them with people as soon as they're ready to roll. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon for another episode. Bye!